Welcome back to another video. In this one I'm going to do an end-to-end instructional video of how to change the dual clutch transmission filter, drain all the fluid out of the transmission, and replace it with fresh transmission fluid. Now you don't have to do the full 13 quarts. You can do 11. But if you decide to track the car and you have a 2023 or lower vehicle, you can add the two additional quarts if you want. If you're going to track it, I'm putting in all 13 because I do track mine. Apparently, 11 quarts go in through the side port and 2 go in the top. So it's a pretty complex project. So hopefully this video will cover everything that you need. Now there's an additional one, I think it's either 15,000 or 20,000 miles, where you have to change the secondary filter. That's 20,000 or 3 years. I am not going to be doing that in this video. This will just be for your standard transmission fluid replacement and transmission filter replacement. So what we have here, we have the AC Delco recommended transmission fluid. You have the part number here. This one I got at Pace Performance. They had the best price. I ordered this back in December 2024. It was $28 and some change per quart. Other places I've seen them as high as $40 to $42. They had the best price, so it was Pace Performance. Had that. So I got all 13 quarts here, as I am going to track the car. I also got the transmission filter here, and I'll show you where this goes. That comes with a couple of new gaskets or O-rings, if you will. I'll show you where these go. And of course the bolts that hold the filter in place here, they're one-time use only, so do not reuse the bolts when you buy the filter. If it's a genuine filter, you will get the replacement bolts. So if you're doing the 2 additional quarts, you're going to have to remove the carpeting, the maintenance cover, the air box to get to the fuel, the fill cap. I'll be covering that. Other than that, if you're doing the 11 quarts only, everything is underneath the car, and I will be covering that as well. So now that we have the air box out, that's covering up the fill cap for the 2 additional quarts of transmission fluid, we're going to go ahead and work on underneath getting a pretty big cover. And to do so, you're going to want to have your vehicle up on a lift if you can. I have mine on a, I don't know if you can tell, it's on a quick jack stand. It gives me enough room to slide underneath and work on my car, but it's a lot easier if you have a full lift. But I have to make do with what I got, so I'll be inching my way back there. Have a manual wrench for if there's any hard to get places. There's about 30 of these bolts, or if you have to drive, you can do that. So we'll get started right away. As you can see here, I have my car up on my quick jack stands. It allows me to fit under there. There's not a lot of room to work, but I can inch my way back there and get to what I need to get to. If you don't have a lift or whatnot, you're going to have to get some floor jacks and raise it up. But this works for me, and I'm going to go ahead and get underneath and get started. Okay, I'm underneath the car. Like I said, there's about 30 of these types of bolts that need to come out across. I don't know if you can see it. There's a huge panel here. We're going to want to remove this to expose the DCT filter that we're also replacing. So go ahead and get started removing those. All right, so these are on there pretty tight. My driver doesn't have enough power to get them off, so I'm going to just loosen these up by hand. Okay, I did forget to mention at the beginning of the video, there's additional regular bolts that need to come out. The bigger ones here are 13 millimeter. Here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 of those, and then there's 10 millimeters. There's 3 of those. We'll go ahead and do the We'll go ahead and do the 13 millimeters to start. Okay, I removed all of the E16 bolts, the 13 millimeter bolts and the 10 millimeter bolts. I left one here, just hand tightened so this thing doesn't fall down on me. I'm going to go ahead and pull the camera out so this thing doesn't fall on the camera, but it wasn't easy. They had some thread lock on them, so getting them out was pretty tough, but didn't strip anything and I was able to get them all out. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out. Now we have all the bolts out. I'm going to go ahead and unscrew the last one, holding it in by hand, and we're going to pull this out and go from there. Okay, we got the cover panel out, and there were a total of 35 bolts altogether, 22 E16s, 3 10 millimeters, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13 millimeters. You can see some of them have thread lock on them. Go ahead and reapply it to the bolts that have it on there. The E16s seem to be the only ones that have it, so I'll apply some blue thread lock to those before reinstalling the panel. The panel's out over here. Pretty dirty. Can't imagine why. I guess it's just all road debris and dirt, so I'm going to go ahead and clean that up before we reinstall it. So the next step is to get to the DCT filter and the drain plug. Okay, so there is the transmission filter cover. There's the 4 bolts. I'm not sure what size those are or what's needed just yet. I'll have to figure that out, but this right here is, we need to remove this to replace the filter. And right next to the filter, right here, that is the refill plug. That's where we'll be pumping in 11 quarts of transmission fluid into that piece. And then right down here, that is the drain plug. So we'll be covering that next. We'll be draining the oil and pulling out the filter, replacing the filter, and then we're going to fill this up. Okay, so now we're ready to drain the fluid from the transmission, and we want to make sure that you have a disposable tray here. This is 16 quart capacity. It'll catch all the fluid that comes out. And then to get the fluid back in, you're gonna have to pump it in because the fill plug is on the side. So I got this here. I will put a link down in the description for it. So let's get started. One of the things that you're going to want to do before you drain it is get it to a decent temperature. They say 40, but I'm going to go ahead and start the car. I'm going to get it up to about 60, 70 degrees and turn it off and then drain it. Okay, so we're going to fire it up, a cold start here. I'm going to fire this up. Cold start. Okay, as you can see, I have the transmission temperature up to 90 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that off, put the car in the lift, and start draining the tranny fluid. Okay, so the drain bolt itself is a 13 millimeter, and the fill plug is a 17 millimeter. Go ahead and get under there and start draining. Okay, so right at the bottom of the transmission pan here is the drain plug. That is the 13 millimeter. I'm going to go ahead and remove that, and hopefully I don't make a mess here. Okay, never done this one before, so I don't know how fast this comes out, and hopefully I got the pan in the right spot. Just gonna move the camera around here a little bit. Okay, it's draining. Looks the oil looks really good. It's really clear. I'm very surprised at that, and my pan's starting to overflow. So now that we have the transmission fluid drained and in the pan, the drain pan, we're going to go ahead and do the filter. And to remove the filter, there's 4 bolts. They are one-time use only, so make sure that you replace them with the ones that come with your kit. And this is an E8 socket. It's not your standard socket. You got to be very careful when tightening these. You don't want to over tighten them because they will snap. And I will be covering what the specs are for that once we do the installation and put these back in. Okay, so here's the filter. Here's where the drain plug was. I just hand tightened this for now. so I didn't misplace it. But yeah, here's the filter. I don't think I'm going to be able to film me loosening this and necessarily pulling out. I don't want to get transmission fluid on my camera, so I'll do the best I can to record this and go from there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and attempt to remove the 4 bolts here. Oh boy, is that tight? Not a lot of room. Just going to go ahead and break them first. Can't seem to see that last one. Right, got all 4 bolts out now. I was expecting some oil to flow out, or maybe it's not going to come out until we pull that lid off. But I'm going to go ahead and just snap a picture of it with my phone. That way I know the orientation. Okay, so from what I understand, this little clip is a little tricky to get off this little lid. I've seen people just twist it back and forth and work it out. I've also seen people pry it with a screwdriver, and I really don't want to do that unless I have to. So I'm just going to work on it by hand for now. You can see, I'm trying not to get anything on the camera there. That's what she looks like. There's the filter. It's still dripping. I'm going to clean up some of the oil that spilled when I yanked this out, the cap off of there, so do that next. Alright, so I'm going to go up there and pair needle nose pliers and see if I can see where to grab it. Alright, just a small little tug on it. Got it out. And we'll bring her straight down into the pan here. There we go. You can see we got the transmission filter out. So we're going to go ahead and let that drip out, and we'll prepare the new one to be, get it in there for the new replacement filter. Go from there. Okay, now that we got the DCT filter out, this is what it looks like here. It's pretty dirty compared to the new one. Here you can see. So it must be doing its job, getting rid of all the debris and whatnot. So what the new one looks like. Here's the cap that we took off, and the 4 bolts down here. And then I did remove the drain plug again after I removed the DCT. There must have been some oil built up in the pan, so I took that out to let it drain some more. You do have to replace this blue O-ring here with this O-ring here. There's this yellow one here. I'm not quite sure at this point what this is for. I assume it's for the filler plug because it's too big to go on the drain plug. So I assume that's what it's for. We'll find out. I'll just stash that away for now, and let's get this back in. Okay, easy. Might want to get some transmission fluid around the seal. Some out of the bucket here. Oh, let's put a little bit around the way it stays hydrated throughout. Do the same on the ring here for the filter. Okay, let's put a little bit of transmission fluid around that. I'm going to make sure that I do not use these 4 bolts, as they are one-time use. 4 new bolts are here. They already have the thread lock on them. I think it's around 18 foot-pounds. But I'm just going to hand tighten them up, or I'm not going to go crazy. I have heard that these snap really easy, so please be careful when replacing them. So we'll get under the car and put the DCT filter back in, and then we're almost ready to fill it back up. Here we go, and put the filter in now. It doesn't go in any particular way that I know of. Let's wipe off a little bit of excess here. There we go. And here we go. That's just supposed to snap in, so let's see. Oh, there we go. Easy peasy. Now we'll do the cap. Remember the orientation it was when you took it off. I took a picture so I wouldn't forget. But just trying to line them up best you can, and there you go. You might have to play and wiggle with it, but I'm going to go ahead and get the bolts started by hand. And then I'm going to machine them up, but I'm not going to tighten them with the machine. I'm going to do those by hand just because of the risk of breakage. All right, and now we have the new DCT transmission filter in. I'm probably going to go back and tighten these to the right spec once I figure out what that is. I'll definitely tell you once I find that out. If I can't find it, I'm just going to leave it as is, tightened by hand. I'm not going to apply any more pressure to them, as I don't want them to break. So I happen to know that the drain bolt and the filler plug are 18 foot-pounds. I just don't know what these are on the filter. So just give it one more little. Okay. All right, now we'll remove the filler plug, and we'll get to filling this up, and we'll be discussing that next. Okay, so now we're going to remove the filler plug on the transmission. For reference, this is the drain plug here. This is the filler plug. It's a 17 millimeter. Don't know how I'm going to get to it just yet, so I might need a bigger extension than what I have, or an open-ended wrench. Not sure just yet, so we'll give this a try.
Probably going to need a 17 millimeter open wrench for that. I don't see how else to get that on there. And it does. Okay, get that off broken. I should be able to do it by hand. Hopefully nothing spills out. I'll just grab a rag here just in case. Okay. Nothing comes out, thankfully. That means that hopefully I got the majority of it drained. All right, let's see what our next steps are. I removed the fill plug from the fill space on the transmission. It does have an O-ring here, and as I suspected, the O-ring that came with the new DCT filter has a replacement. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the old one. Boy. And replace it with the new one. And of course, just want to put a little bit of fluid around it so it stays hydrated. There we go. So the next step is pretty tricky. You have to fill it. Apparently this takes 11.1 quarts through the side fill plug. It's recommended that you check the level as you're filling it. Once that the fill is supposed to come up to the bottom of the fill plug, then it's full. Then what you have to do is you have to start the car. Well, put the plug back in, start the car, let it idle for a few minutes, and then let it cycle through reverse and drive for 3 to 5 minutes, and then you have to check the fill area again. If the level hasn't dropped, then it was filled properly. It might drop a little bit. If so, you fill it up again and repeat the process until it is to the level that we want it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to prep for the new fluid to go in. I have the pump. I'll be filling that. It holds, I think, 3 liters or so, and I'll be covering that here in a minute. Okay, so I'm going to start, before I do anything, I want to make sure I don't forget to tighten down the drain bolt to 18 foot-pounds. I have my torque wrench here. It's 18 foot-pounds. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten that up. And 18 right on the dot. Same goes for the fill plug as well. I need to swap out the socket here. Give me 1 sec. So now that that's ready to go, I'll go ahead and prep the transmission fluid to go into the pump. Okay, now we're ready to fill it up with new, fresh transmission fluid. I always recommend the OEM. At the beginning of the video, I gave you the part numbers and whatnot. They say it takes 11 quarts, 11.1 quarts to the side. we shall find out. Now, this pump came with quite a few of these attachments. I was hoping that I could get one that matched this fill plug, but got close, but none of them exactly match, but that's okay. It comes with several of these straight ones. I'm not sure which one I'm going to use. Starting off with this one in the middle here. Hopefully, as I put it in and it goes right in. If I run into trouble, I may stop and readjust. We might need one of these angled ones. I don't know, but I'll figure that out. So this particular canister for the pump holds 3 liters or 3.1 quarts. They make ones that hold more, but I don't have it. I got this one here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill up the reservoir. This one has a lid here. You take this off and I have a funnel. I'm going to go ahead and throw 3 quarts in there, and then we'll start this process and see how it goes. As you can see, as I'm pumping, I'm starting to apply some pressure in there. I'm going to go to about 20. As you can see, some of the fluid is starting to flow. Oop, there we go. Now it's full. I'm just going to leave it like that. And now I got to figure out how to get underneath and start filling this bad boy up. Okay, so the straight one fitting that I had really didn't work out, so I'm using this one here. This ATF T104 has a little angle on it, so it fits real nice up into the drain plug here. I don't know if you can see that, but it's just hanging there right now, and the handle's ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and start filling this thing up. All right. Quite interesting. Wasn't too bad. I'm not going to record the rest of this because I'm in a very uncomfortable spot. Trying not to get anything dripping on my camera. But the process is the same. I'm going to keep filling it until I hit the bottom of the fill plug. Once I hit that, I will resume recording and show you how to cycle through the reverse and drive for several minutes once, because we got to do this a couple times to make sure that the levels are correct. So I changed things up a little bit since my first attempt with this pump. You can see I was able to get that end with a hook that kind of looks like this. Kind of looks like this one here. It's resting inside of the fill plug, and I don't have to be squashed under there anymore, and I just have the pump sitting here. I don't know if you can tell. Put the first 3 quarts in. I'm working on the second half of this, but I seem to find a happy medium here on how to do this. Now, as I get closer to 11, I am going to have to make sure I'm there, because if oil starts leaking out, I need to be able to turn off the valve. But yeah, this is a little bit easier. I can pump it. I found that around 20 psi is the sweet spot as well for this. Oh, there we go. As I get closer to the fill, the 11, I'll start recording again and pick up where I left off. Okay, as you can see, I've pumped in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I've about a half a quart up there. We're approaching the 11 quart mark, so kind of curious to see what happens. It's supposed to fill 11.1, but I have a feeling that the telltale signs whenever I start to overflow a little bit, then I know it will be full. Then I can go through the cycles to make sure that the fluid goes through everywhere it needs to go. So I'm going to keep an eye on this, and I'll be recording it, so just sit tight. Get under here. Alright, so hopefully I'll be able to catch this whenever it starts to overflow. I expect a little bit of drip, but hopefully not too bad. Okay, I must be full. It's starting to drip. I'll get the camera out of the way. Let me get the pan in place. Yeah, so I got I don't know exactly how much is in there. Definitely not quite sure. I fill it up with about 10.5 or 3.5 quarts, or I got 10 plus about a half sitting there. There's about maybe another 1.5 quarts in there, so you're looking at probably about 10 quarts. We'll go ahead and let that just drain out and clean it up in there, and then we'll put the plug back in, and we'll cycle through the gears, make sure the fluid flows where it needs to go, and then we'll revisit this to see if I need to put in more. And then once that's all done, we still aren't out of the woods yet. We got to put in the extra 2 quarts in through where the air filter is, or the air box in the trunk. So yeah, so probably roughly got maybe 10.5 quarts in, maybe 10. It's kind of hard to tell. I don't have a good gauge on this pump, but I'm definitely at the fill line of the plug, as some of the fluid was starting to leak out, so I had to clean that up. And now we have to go through and cycle the fluid through the transmission. You're going to want to get the car started, let it idle for 30-40 seconds, and then you're going to want to cycle through reverse for 30 to 45 seconds, drive 30 to 45 seconds, and then repeat that for about 3 to 5 minutes. And once that's done, we're going to want to go and check the fuel plug again. We'll remove the fuel plug. It might need more oil, and we'll see what happens with this install. I'm hoping that I don't need more oil, but yeah, I'm sure that I will. Okay, we started the car, got past the cold start, so we're going to go ahead and cycle through like it says. I'm going to set a timer for 5 minutes. And just cycle through reverse for 45 seconds. All right, it's been 5 minutes, went through the cycle. Now let's see if we need to add more. Okay, now that we cycled through everything, I'm going to go ahead and remove that fill plug. If oil leaks out, I know that I don't need that anymore. Nothing leaks out, I'm going to attempt to pump some more in, and then we'll repeat that process again. Now I got the vehicle cycled through the gears. I have it lifted. I checked underneath, nothing is leaking, which is good. I removed the fuel plug. No additional fluid came out, so I'm going to go ahead and top it off, and we'll see where we go from there. Okay, yeah, so I went through, got a little bit more in there. Probably talking, we probably got a solid 10 quarts in, maybe. Yeah, I'd say probably about 10 quarts. I'm going to cycle through one more time, check it one more time, and then that'll be it. Well, we can start putting the underneath together and start on the air box in the trunk to get the other 2 quarts in. Okay, go and start her up. Just let it idle for a minute. All right, and here we go. Okay, so I went ahead and checked the fluid. I removed the fill cap a little bit, very little leaked out. So it's full now. Like I said, it's about probably a full 10 quarts. So we should be good. I'm going to go ahead and go through the process of putting everything underneath back together while I have it up on the lift, and then we'll tackle the 2 extra quarts where the air box goes. Okay, now that everything's full, we're going to go ahead and put the plate underneath with the E16 bolts, the 10mm bolts, and I think that these were Let me see. 13. So yeah, so 13 millimeter bolts, E6 and 10. We'll get at it. Okay, so one thing before you start putting this back in, if you notice there is a, right here on the plate, they'll be marked, 1 with an arrow there, 2, I don't know if you can see it, let me pull back a little bit, 2 with an arrow there. Those are your alignment points. You're going to want to get those bolts in first to make sure they're aligned, and then you can tighten up the rest of them. Okay, so I got the skid plate in. As you can see, I have number 1 lined up with an E16. On this side, there it is. Number 2, just got it lined up. Everything should be good to go. Now we're just going to start buttoning this up. Okay. What I did was I went ahead and just lined up all the bolts, all the E16s, the 13 millimeter, and the 10s. And now I'm just going to go ahead and tighten these up. All right. Well, that takes care of the underneath. Okay, so we're going to start by removing the carpeting and the maintenance cover and the mechanisms that holds the roof in place on the if you have the coupe. T15 is what you need. There's 4 bolts on here. There's a clip down here for the netting. If you use the netting, this will have to come out. And then there's also a couple of clips that hold the carpet in place. There's 2, the same on both sides. Take a stroll down there. On the passenger side, 4 bolts here, the clip here, and then the 2 clips holding the carpet in place. So I'll go ahead and start doing that now. Some videos I've seen, people want to remove this weather stripping around here. You can do that if you want. For me, it's not that big of a deal. Kind of push down, kind of comes out. Gotta make sure you pull the carpet off of the studs. Remove the netting clips on both sides, and voila, carpet comes out pretty easily. Now we have the maintenance cover exposed here. There's 19 T15 bolts that need to be removed. I, on the other hand, have 1 oddball 7 millimeter. For whatever reason, either the factory forgot to put it in, or when I had the dual clutch transmission change at the Chevy dealership, they didn't put one back in, but I wasn't able to get a T15, so I have a 7 millimeter one here. We'll go ahead and start removing the maintenance cover now. Okay, there's no trick into getting this out. Just pull it away. And now you can see the air box has been exposed. Okay, now that we have the maintenance cover removed and we have the air box here, we're going to have to remove it. To get the whole air box removed, there's 4 bolts holding it in. There's 2 T27s on the front and 2 on the back. There's one down here on this, one right here. To make it a little easier, I remove these 4 10mm bolts on each side here. That way there's no fighting to get it back in. These come out real easy. You unscrew the 4 bolts and they slide right out. Recommend that you take those out. And there's also 2 T27s on the back. I'll show you that here in a minute. Yeah, so there's a T27 bolt here, and there's also one on the other side. You want to make sure that you disconnect all the clips. If you see my last video where I put in the cat delete, you'll see that I had some trouble with the dealership that did my first transmission fluid change. There's a clip here. There's a clip that holds this breather in place. There's a clip that holds the O2 sensors in place. And there are several clips that hold a few other things. There's an antenna clip that needs to come out as well. And this clip down here needs to come out, and you'll see a bunch of, this clip here needs to come out, and you'll see a bunch of these brown colored clips in the back as well. Be very careful when removing them. I'm going to go to the other side here and show you. Yeah, so T27 bolt right there. So there's some clips. Can't really get the camera down in there good. Yeah, T27 is right there. Some clips there. Be very careful of this antenna clip that's attached to the box. You can't see it. Just be very careful when you're pulling it out. There's also some clips that need to come out for the O2 sensors on both sides. So we'll go ahead and start taking those out. Okay, so I'll start with the easiest part. That's these 4 10mm bolts on each side. Like I said, you unloosen those, these pop right out. No issues. Here. Careful not to break them. Now this clip here at the bottom is kind of tricky. Let's see if I can remember how I got this one out. Oh, there we go. Easy peasy. Now I'm going to go and remove the ones from the back. Did forget to mention there's a clamp like this one here. It's up closer, you can't really see it. I'm going to go ahead and unloosen that. Then we can start getting on the T27 bolts. There's an antenna that fastens to the back of this, and you have to very carefully extract the airbox now from the intake where you loosen that clamp. So give it a try and see what happens. Okay, now we're just going to pull the airbox out. Being careful not to break the antenna on the top. It's best to lift from the bottom. Kind of finagle your way out like so. There's this clip here. It's for the antenna. I'm just going to move that out. There, that one goes. And there's one on the back for there's some sort of sensor on here, airflow sensor maybe. That needs to come out. we go. And now the whole airbox assembly is gone. Now, move some of the stuff out of the way. This right here, this is the fill cap. If you're going to do the 2 extra quarts, if you're going to track the car, this will come out, and that's where you'll put the 2 extra quarts. If you plan not to put the 2 extra quarts in, you can skip this whole process. Okay, now that we filled the lower half of the transmission to its capacity, around 10.5 quarts, we're going to go ahead and put in the 2 extra quarts through the top where the airbox is. It's a brass fitting. It's a 7mm hex wrench. Just be careful when taking that out. The brass is very fragile, I'll call it. So you'll want to make sure that you remove that carefully. I used penetrating fluid prior to shooting this video, so it should be good to go. Okay, so the airbox has been removed. It's this brass fitting right here that I was talking about. This is where the 2 extra quarts will go. It's a brass fitting. I already sprayed it down with penetrating fluid, and I already broke it because I was afraid to strip it, and I didn't want that on video. So here we go. There it is. There's the brass fitting right here. It has a little O-ring on it. No need to replace that apparently. We'll set this aside. Now here is the area where we will put in the 2 extra quarts. I haven't decided how I'm going to do that yet. I'm more than likely going to use the pump again. That's the cleanest, easiest way as far as I know. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm a little nervous of overflow, so I'm using this container here that has markings on it for quarts and liters. I'm already put in a little bit prior to starting to record, but I'm going to fill it up to the just slightly under the 2 quart mark, and I'm going to monitor it because I don't want overflow. I don't want transmission fluid all over the place, so I'm going to be monitoring that as I fill it. I'm going to go ahead and put this in here. And just slightly under 2 quarts. And we'll go ahead and put it in. Okay, as you can see, with the fill cap removed, I'm going to attempt to use this funnel that's in there. I'm not sure what to expect. I'm going to put some paper towels around the area just in case I do have some overflow. I don't want to make a huge mess and get it everywhere. Oops. Okay, let's see what we can see. Slightly under 2, I'm just going to put in a tad bit more to get it to the 2 quart mark. Just a tad bit more. Okay, so we now have 2 ports in there. I don't want to jinx it, but as of right now, miraculously no spillage anywhere. I'll go ahead and just pull this funnel out, set it aside. Here, pull these out, and we're going to go ahead and put the plug back in. I'm not going to make it super tight, I'm just going to crank on a little bit, I don't want to strip it. And there you have it. Much easier than the pumping it in through the side. Now we have to put the air box back together. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and tighten up some of these nuts and bolts on the catalytic converters, or the cat deletes actually, the clear pipes. I want to make sure that I don't have any exhaust leaks. I did have a check engine light come on due to that. So I'm going to make sure I tighten everything up and put the air box back in, and we will fire it up and hopefully everything is good. Okay, I tightened up all the nuts and bolts on my cat delete. Now it's time to put the air box back in. I'll be showing you step by step on how to put it back in. It's important to make sure you clip everything to the back of the air box and get your clips in properly, so you won't throw any check engine lights or anything like that. So we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, we have the air box here. A couple things I'm probably going to do first is clip this antenna in, potentially this airflow sensor. So that's this red clip here is for the antenna. Just gonna push that in, push it in so that's in tight. Airflow sensor in tight. We'll get the O2 sensors at a later time. So I'll make sure that everything is out of the way as much as possible. You got to kind of put this in at an angle with this in first, and you got to align this rubber intake here with this. This is probably the hardest part that I've experienced, trying to get that lined up so it doesn't bunch up and that it fits in nicely. So here we go. Okay, you kind of know when it's in because it slides right in once you get everything lined up, but I do want to double check the seal around here, make sure nothing's bunched up around the intake, and it looks good, feels good. The bolts are now aligned, and there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this back in. Like so. Put that push pin in, clip goes there. I'm going to go ahead and take a round here and take a look. Make sure nothing's caught, especially the air breather. All right, everything looks good. I'm gonna go ahead and put that air sensor in now. Okay, I'm going to plug in the O2 sensor clips here. There we go. So make sure that it's tight. Alright, trying to attach this clip to the back here. These clips are kind of a pain, but I'm not going to put the breather vent up in yet until I tighten that screw down. Got the other O2 clip in. Okay, I'm not going to put those clips in either because I can see that they will get in the way of the bolts. So I'm going to go ahead and start tightening those down. All right, well, now that that's back in, everything's bolted down, everything's snugged up, and all that's left are to attach these little side air things, and that'll be it for the airbox. Go ahead and do that next. Okay, and just take one more look to make sure I got everything on both sides. Forgot a clip. There we go. Always double check your work. And I got everything over here all right. Yep. Oops. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to get a new clip. Sit tight. All right. So the airbox installation is complete. There's nothing left to do as far as this area goes, other than to put the maintenance panel back in and the carpet, and I'll be doing that here shortly. Okay, now what we need to do is reset the transmission fluid life and the transmission filter life on the car. First of all, I'm doing this, I don't think the car needs to be running, just need to be in accessory mode. So you just hold this in for a few seconds, the accessory mode will kick in. There we go. And let's go to maintenance. Okay, as you can see, there's reset transmission fluid. Yes. And now you can see the transmission fluid is now at 100. And I'm going to go ahead and do the reset transmission filter as well. Yes. And you can see that now both of them read 100. So we're good there. Okay, don't forget the bolts that go in there are T15s for the maintenance cover. Actually, it's T15 for everything. And this just goes in place like so. Okay, the maintenance cover is now in place. Get the carpet. Okay, got the clips here for the netting. Put those in first. Okay. We have the clips that go in here at the bottom. Okay, I mixed these up, but in case you're wondering, it'll tell you left hand, right hand on the back of these. This is what holds the, you have the coupe, so it holds them in place. Go ahead and pull these out. All right, well, that is the end of the install. Everything is in place. Everything looks good. So we'll just end there with this install. As you saw, whenever we were resetting my transmission fluid and filter, that I am at like 57% on my oil. That will be the next video I put together. I've done that before a couple times. Pretty simple, a lot easier process than this. Take about an hour, and we'll be covering that in the next video. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope everybody finds it super useful. Thank you for watching.